Hey there, Seahawks, it's Miss Adams, and in this video we're going to talk about multiplying functions. Alright, so let f of x equal 3x squared plus 4x plus 2, and g of x equal x, or 2x plus 3. Find f of x times g of x. So if I multiply these, I'm going to have 3x squared plus 4x plus 2 times, so I'm going to wrap that all in parentheses, 2x plus 3. So what I'm going to have to do here is distribute, but I'm going to have to distribute every term in the one group to the other term in the other group. So this 3x squared is going to go to both terms in the second group. Then the 4x is going to go to both terms. And then the 2 is going to go to both terms. And I usually like to do it where I would take the second group because it's smaller and bring that to each of the 3 terms in the first group. Because remember, multiplication, you can do it either way. So that's what I would probably flip it around so that it seems like a little bit less work, but it's really the same amount. So 3x squared times 2x would give me 6x to the third. Remember, when we're multiplying, we add the exponents. So I have 3 times 2 makes 6, and then x to the second times x to the first makes x to the third. All right, and then 3x squared times 3 would give me 9x squared. So 3 times 3 is 9, and I keep the x squared. Now I'm going to do 4x times both terms in the second set. So 4x times 2x would give me 8x squared. And 4x times 3 would give me 12x. Now I'm going to do 2 to both terms in the other set. So 2 times 2x would give me 4x, and 2 times 3 would give me 6. So now I have all the pieces, and I'm going to combine any like terms that I have. So I'm starting with the first term, which is 6x to the third. Do I have any other x to the third terms? No. Okay, so then I'm looking at my x squareds. I have 2x squared terms, so I'm going to combine those together, and I have 2x terms, and I'm going to combine those together. So I have 6x to the third, and then I have 9x squared plus 8x squared, which will give me 17x squared. Then I have a 12x plus 4x, which will give me 16x. And then I have the 6. I don't have anything to combine that with, so I'll just bring that down. All right, number 2. Let m of a equal 3a to the 5th minus 2a squared plus 8, and p of a equal a squared minus 2. Find m of a times p of a. So in this one, I'm going to actually switch it up and do p of a times m of a because multiplication is commutative, and I could do it that way. That way I have the smaller one first, just because I think it's a little bit easier. So now I'm going to distribute the a squared to everything in the other set, and the negative 2, now make sure you get that negative in there, to everything in the other set. Okay? So I'm going to do this step by step. So a squared times 3a to the 5th would give me 3a to the 7th. Then a squared times negative 2a squared would give me negative 2a to the 4th. A squared times 8 would give me plus 8a squared. Now I'm going to do negative 2 times everything in the other set. So negative 2 times 3a to the 5th would give me negative 6a to the 5th. Then negative 2 times negative 2a squared would give me positive 4a squared. And then negative 2 times 8 would give me negative 16. Now I'm going to look for any like terms. So any a to the 7th can be combined. Any a to the 6th with a to the 6th. A to the 5th with a to the 5th. A to the 4th with a to the 4th. A to the 3rd with a to the 3rd. A to the 2nd with a to the 2nd. A's with A's, and constants with constants. But it doesn't look like I have any like terms. So instead, I do have like terms. I have a squareds. So I'm going to combine those. All right, and then I'm going to put it from highest exponent to smallest exponent. So 3a to the 7th would come first. And then any a to the 6th, but I don't have that. So then my a to the 5th, so minus 6a to the 5th. Then my a to the 4th, so minus 2a to the 4th. Then my a to the 3rds, but I don't have any. So my a squared, so I'm going to combine my like terms 8a squared plus 4a squared would give me 12a squared. Number 3, let h of x equal x minus 1 and g of x equal x to the third plus 6x squared minus 5. Find h of x times g of x. So I have x minus 1 times x to the third plus 6x squared minus 5. I'm going to distribute everything in the first set to everything in the second set. So x times x to the third gives me x to the fourth. X times 6x squared gives me 6x to the third. And x times a negative 5 gives me a negative 5x. Then I'm going to distribute negative 1 to everything in the second set. So negative 1 times x third gives me a negative 1x third. Negative 1 times 6x squared gives me a negative 6x squared. And negative 1 times negative 5 gives me positive 5. And then combine like terms. So I can combine my x to the thirds are like terms. So I'm going to have x to the fourth plus 5x to the third. And then I'm going to do my x to the second power. So minus 6x squared minus 5x plus 5. You always want to go from highest exponent to lowest exponent for your final answer. All right. The length of the side of a square are s inches long. A rectangle is 6 inches shorter and 8 inches wider than the square. Express the length and width of the rectangle as a function based on the side of the square. All right, so we have a square, which is s by s. Remember, all 4 sides are going to be the same. Well, on my rectangle, it's 6 inches shorter and 8 inches wider. So the height would be s minus 6, and the width would be s plus 8. Okay, so the width based on s of the rectangle is s minus 6. And the length based on s of the square for the rectangle is s plus 8. So write a function to represent the area of the rectangle in terms of the sides of the square. So area of a rectangle is length times width. So I'm going to do my length function times my width function. So s minus 6 times s plus 8. And I'm going to distribute all those pieces. So s times s gives me s squared. S times 8 gives me 8s. Negative 6 times s gives me negative 6s. And negative 6 times 8 gives me negative 48. I can combine my s terms. So I get the area of the rectangle in terms of the sides of the square is s squared plus 2s minus 48.